Welcome to the most accurate tier list for Hunter x Hunter arcs on the internet. Why is it the most accurate? Because I said so. If you have a problem with that, I'll meet you down below after this video and I'll argue with you. Tell me your opinions, obviously respectful. I'm just messing around about being all aggressive, but we can respect each other's opinions and we can debate down below on why you think I am wrong or why you agree. Alright, so we're gonna start with Hunter exam arc. Personally, I think the Hunter exam arc is a great introduction arc. Compared to other series, I feel like it starts out pretty strong. I have heard people say the first episode's slow, but I don't think it's slow. I think you're introduced to three of the four main characters really well, introduced to a little bit of the world. You get the sea captain's opinion on Gon's dad early, which is obviously the main goal for the series, is Gon finding his dad. I think it introduces you to the characters really well. You get to know Kropka and what drives him, Leorio and what drives him. Killua, you get a little bit of his backstory. You know that he at least stabbed his family and ran away, and now he's just doing this to pass time. And you really see the bond of him and Gon and that childish friendship grow. You get Hisoka. What am I trying to say? Hisoka, you realize, is in this part of Hunter x Hunter, I thought Hisoka was just a terrible character. Not terrible character, but like a villain that I wanted Gon and Killua to overcome. And I was looking forward to the fight between Gon and Hisoka. My opinion changed on Hisoka later down the line, but in the Hunter exam arc, and I think just the layout of the arc, I like how Togashi didn't dwell too much on the tournament style itself, how you just learned about it in a flashback. Because every shonen you get a tournament arc, and personally, after writing Yu Yu Hakusho, I think that Togashi was just hired. I would say that against all the other arcs for Hunter x Hunter, it's an A. The Zoldyck family arc, you learn about Killua's family, a group of assassins. You learn that just because they're assassins doesn't mean they're secret. They are just out there on a mountain, and they are not threatened because they are so much stronger than everybody else. And then they also got Mike, who is the best dog in the series. When I first saw him, I'm not gonna lie, the design for him definitely spooked me a little bit. But I don't like I feel like it has a horror element to it. I don't like horror anything, so. But that's just me. And then you learn about Killua's family, like his dad's plan for him, and like, oh, he's gonna be the next head. And his dad's real confident that he's gonna come back, which he wasn't wrong about, but he came back for different reasons. Overall, it was really short, and there's not really much progress in the plot. It's really just learning about Killua, who is the best character in the series. But I would say it's a C. Obviously, I might change these when I rank the other ones if I think I have one above it and I'm like, oh, it's a little bit closer to that than I thought. But Heaven's Arena, you get the payoff between Gon and Hisoka. Well, the beginning of the payoff. I don't think the payoff will ever come. The way Togashi writes, he doesn't really go back. He doesn't really care about what he set up in the past. Once he gets bored writing something, he's kind of just done with it. But I do think that Heaven's Arena introduces you to the best power system in anime. With Nen, up until the Chimera Ant arc, it doesn't matter how strong someone is how it's set up. That if your Nen hard counter, like your ability hard counters, you can still win in a fight of Nen. And it really captivated me to the world a little bit more. It is confusing because the first time it's explained is by Wing, and he's lying to them. He explains it wrong on purpose. And then you get the Gon and Hisoka fight. The Hisoka versus Castro fight was really good. You just get to see Killua and you get to learn about how he doesn't get affected by lightning. You just get to see them grow, even though it's a big growth, but it's a smaller growth in the grand scheme of things. And then the Hisoka versus Castro fight was really cool, but the Gon versus Hisoka fight, I think, is a fourth best fight in the series. So I'm gonna say it's a B. It's right above Zoldyck family estate arc, but for me, it's definitely a B tier. I don't know if it can go any higher. You guys have to point out something that I missed. I haven't watched that particular arc in a little bit or read it, so York Canoe, I ain't even gonna, I've been bopping around these. It's S. York Canoe, you get the Phantom Troop. I don't think they're just as good of a villain organization as the Akatsuki. I think their story during that whole arc is just amazing. You get to see Kurapika, and I like how Kurapika is kind of the main character. Like, obviously, Gon and Killua, Laria, they're all there, but this is about Kurapika, and after this arc, he's gone until after the anime. So, I think it's really good that he got this nice arc. There's a little slow points where they're, like, finding the objects with Nin and everything. I personally didn't have any issue with that because the whole series just had me invested at this point, and I just wanted to know everything about it that I could. The Phantom Troop, the characters are all cool. Ubagid, Nobunaga, Machi, Finks, Beitan. Crollo is an absolute G. You get to see him versus Zeno and Silva. And you get a glimpse of like how strong Killua's parents and grandparents are, because you're like, well, if they want Killua around to be the next head, then they're where they are. And it kind of gives you an insight of where like the tier that Killua will be in if he would have just progressed through the family and not went and discovered Nin and everything. At least how I see it. I think that Silva saw Killua being stronger than him at some day, and that was before discovering Nin by going to the Hunter exam. And then you do get the Crollo and Kurapika like hostage situation where Kurapika has Crollo as hostage, and then he gives them he gives them Gon and Killua in a way to get Pakunoda and take her out. That was probably the most important person in the Phantom Troop to take out next to Crollo, just because of her ability to get information and spread it to others. Obviously, she gives it to others, but she couldn't give to everybody. Anything else I want to say about the York New arc? It's just such a... You get Ubergen versus Kurapika. Don't know how I completely forgot about that. That is... I don't care if you have it at 1, 2, or 3. It is such a good fight that if you have it at 1, 2, or 3, I ain't gonna argue with you. I personally have it at 2. Some days I have it at 3. It just depends. But yeah, York New S tier, and to me, the best arc in the series. Greed Island. I hear a lot of bad things about Greed Island. I think it's because of how much you have to learn about the cards and it being a game inside a show. But in Ginthru, I just don't think he's that strong of a villain. He's alright, but compared to you come from Crollo and Hisoka to this guy, I'm gonna put it up. I'm put it below the Hunter exam arc, just because the Hunter exam arc I never felt myself getting bored with. The Greed Island arc, you have some downtime, and when there's downtime, it's downtime. I don't have a problem with Gon and Killua's train. It's just when they're long expedition dumps about these cards and everything. I do like that you get to see Hisoka team up with Gon and Killua to play a friendly game of dodgeball with Razor. Don't know how friendly it really was, but being able to make a dodgeball game that entertaining, I like the rules of it. Personally, if I had to play dodgeball anytime in the future, I'd want to play with those rules, because I think it's pretty interesting concept of the game. And yeah, that's about all I have to say about Greed Island. You get to see Killua develop his lightning techniques and Gon develop his Jajakin. But outside of that, it's alright. Camera art. I don't care if you think it's long. I don't care what you say about the length. The quality that is in that quantity justifies it being, I think, 60 episodes. I think it's 60, right under 60 episodes. I don't know how many chapters. It's a shit ton of chapters. But it is such a good arc. I kind of like how it took... You could tell Togashi was tired of the Shonen Jump like tropes and everything, because this series got dark. You have the... I think, was it the... can't remember which answer it was, but he just shoots down, I think it was Ponzu, and he just keeps shooting at her, and you're like, am I watching the same series about this kid trying to find his dad? Knuckle and Shoot, Morel, Nav, you get to see Netero fight. All of those characters introduced are great. All the ants, Poof, Yuppie, P2. Miriam is a is the best protagonist in this, not protagonist, best antagonist in this whole series so far. I mean, it's still being written, so. But I love the Chimera Ant arc a lot. I can't. The one thing that I, now looking at it, do I want to leave? I'm gonna put it above York New. I know a lot of people like York New. I love York New too, but I feel like just how much you get from the Chimera Ant arc. I know you mentioned Kite. All of the fights were good. You get to see Yuppie go. You get to see Yuppie grow as a character. Same with all the ants, which well, not all of them. Like Miriam, you see him grow. You see Yuppie grow more than you ever thought he would. You see Killua versus Yuppie. You see Killua tag Pooh for their using Godspeed while protecting Kamugi. You see Gon absolutely snap and go into adult Gon. It's just such a great arc, and I think it wraps up, well, starts to wrap up the series in a great way, because I believe that after the next arc, because Togashi has said that he has ended this series once, and I'm pretty sure this is where his only mistake was in the chairman election arc, which I would say, I don't know if it's the worst arc or not. Because you have Hisoka versus Goto. You learn about Killua's sister, which I like that the Dark Continent is introduced to add an explanation for the ants. But that is also where Togashi messed up, and that little nugget of information made it possible for the series to go on as many chapters as it has since that. I think it's been 50 or 60 chapters in that range. But Alika being from the Dark Continent, or Nanika being inside Alika, being from the Dark Continent, and that being the way the heal gone, I thought was cool. It ties in this new land, this whole new thing that can be explored with the healing of the main character. And then you finally get Gon meeting Jing, and it wrapped up what would have been the end of the series. If he would have stopped there, I would have been completely fine if he would have stopped there. Thinking about that, they're both going to be in C. I think I'm going to do that like that, because the S tier is like how I broke these up. Well, they were already broken up, but how I view like an S tier is like, you can go back, rewatch it, no matter how many episodes, find enjoyment, and you can watch every episode and not get too bored. Obviously, not every episode's going to keep you on the edge of your seat. And Chimera Ant and York New both do that. Hunterxhunter and Greed Island, I feel like with an A tier, they just have that good amount of story. Hunterxhunter obviously developing, introducing story. Greed Island's different. It's just one step, but this one step has such a big story in and of itself. You meet Bisky, I completely forgot to mention her, who ends up being very, very crucial to Gon and Killua. And for an A tier, I say you can go back and rewatch these two also independently, but you'll probably skip around a little. Like, there's some episodes you can skip in the Hunterxhunter. Personally, them inside Trick Tower, I liked it the first couple times I watched it, but if I go back and rewatch Hunterxhunter, I know how it ends. So Leorio getting fooled by a girl, Killua ripping out dude's heart. They're all great, but I'm not too inclined to watch that over. And Tonpa is just insufferable. Greed Island, same way. There's plenty of episodes you can skip in Greed Island, but it's still a good arc. You know what? Even after learning how Nin works, it's such a complex system. I do think that Heaven's Arena, if you rewatch it, you're rewatching it in the entirety. Obviously, like I said, with the S tier, there are a couple of episodes you can skip, but it is a little bit easier to watch in entirety, because I think it's definitely shorter than Greed Island, just from remembering from my head. At least it feels shorter than Greed Island, so it's not as bad. And the payout at the end is better. Gon vs. Hisoka is way better than them fighting the bombers. So You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna keep Heaven's Arena above Greed Island. Tournament election arc C tier. There's like these two. It's not a matter of if you're skipping episodes. It's a matter of there is not enough episodes to skip, because I think they're both like 12 episodes if you're watching it. Rereading it, probably not gonna reread it unless I'm rereading it for a certain, like if I'm gonna make a video on it or something of that nature. So I would say that C tier for me was like, they're good. They're not long enough to have episodes that you can skip, as I explained ahead above, but watching every episode still doesn't have me like, it's not the greatest thing I've watched through this series. There's not really a big payoff besides Gon getting healed and the Zoldyck family arc. They finally make it in. Killua just gets released after friendly game of heads or tails or find the coin. So, and then these I don't want to talk about because there are anime only watchers. So I will rank them based off how I enjoyed it. I don't want to rank them as their own thing, just because obviously seeing them animated could change it a lot. I put Dark Continent there just because I think that you get so much great information in that one. So, and then I'm gonna rank this one based off what I think it's gonna be, like it's where it's projecting, where it's going, where I think it's can end with all the characters involved, and that will be the third. That'd be the third best if I'm doing it based off where I think that it's gonna end. So yeah, let me know if you agree. I know that not everyone's gonna agree. As I said before, it is my opinion, but I am more than happy to hear about what you guys have to say about it. And if you like Hunter x Hunter and want to see more, let me know, because I would love to talk about Hunter x Hunter. I can talk about it all day. It is my favorite anime, so let me know below, and I'll talk to you all later. Peace.